Sergeant Wilkinson told me, it's not a crime to call someone your wife, even if it's a child. What's a crime is to do something with that child.
Do you ever have a nemesis that doesn't actually know you exist? That's me and Sergeant Wilkinson. And what Dr. Christine Marie just said, he said on the stand, bro. Trust me, the false prophet. Recap part 2.
We needed a way for the women to have an income. So Christine created Short Creek Cottage, where we sell homemade items.
Oh, that's adorable.
I don't know how I would have survived without this cottage.
Yeah, let's do energy.
Short Creek Cottage is actually somewhere that you can stop. It's still open today. If you are there, see if they have Esther's sauce. I don't know what's in it except like honey and hot sauce and molasses. It's delicious. You can buy a lot of souvenirs there, and all of it goes to help FLDS people that have basically been abandoned there. They're having a hard time paying bills. There's a lot of stuff like that. You can also go on Voices for Dignity and see what you can do to help that. However, there's going to be a whole video after this that Christine and I took last time I was in Short Creek telling you how you can help, so look out for that. Now, Esther is one of the many people that were basically abandoned in Short Creek, because you got to remember, if they're still in Short Creek, they weren't ordered to Zion, which that's got a whole lot of implications there, right? And then Warren has basically just disappeared on them. Warren has also made a ton of edicts about whether they're allowed to get married. They're not even allowed to snuggle fest with their own husbands, which makes it very, very suspicious when Samuel Baitman, the wannabe Warren Jeffs, starts showing up with babies.
You know, somebody's been doing something that wasn't put together by the prophet.
Yeah. What background do you want that?
This one, yeah.
Okay.
The next time I saw Sam, he had another wife. Again, over 18. And the younger sister of the first wife.
I was running the Short Creek Cottage, and Sam showed up outside in the back. He was in a vehicle with a trailer.
I spoke more about that dynamic in part 1. I can't reiterate everything or we're going to be here for 10 years. Also, the documentary I mentioned, Keep Sweet, not Keep Sweet, Pray and Obey, will really explain a lot of the things that have happened in the town, right? But last time we talked about this, I had told you that one of the reasons that it was so upsetting that the town wasn't really doing anything, and the police, in the town weren't doing anything, is because Sam was riding around town with all of these women and children in a flatbed, having them sing, do all of this stuff. He did not hide what he was doing.
There's a gift we all can give to help along the way.
And I went out, and it was like just dripping with women.
There are so many things to do.
He showed up with all of these wives singing. And I was like, really? How did that happen? There were babies too. It was like they clear forgot some of our core beliefs.
Samuel Baitman, a little background about him. He was raised FLDS. He was born in the town. He is mentioned in some of the earliest literature when Sam Brower and all those people were going out there. He grew up, this was his idea, but nobody liked him. He was a schlub, basically what they said. And there was even one night where I went out to a restaurant in Short Creek, and I just kind of wanted to ask. I was like, Sam Baitman, what did you think? They were like, first of all, we all knew he shouldn't be driving around with those women and children. And second of all, we couldn't believe it because nobody ever liked him. And he was always a huge joke amongst everybody, because you got to remember, up until the early thousands, this is still a very isolated place, and well into kind of the mid-thousands as well. It's different now, but it wasn't for a long time, and he did not have a good reputation, which I think on some level we can be thankful for, because his followers probably would have been a much higher number than around or maybe less than 50 like they actually were. But Sam, like a lot of other people, he didn't want to do this in privacy. He wanted grandiosity. He wanted to be famous. He wanted everybody to see what a great prophet he had been and what he had done. So he starts spending more time with Christine, Dr. Christine Marie, and her husband, Tolga, who is a documentarian, used to do music videos, does amazing pictures, just did a shoot with Naomi Beislein, who was actually in this documentary. I mean, just an amazing couple. They started getting closer and closer to Sam because the alarm bells were going off, and there were rumors all over town that he was married to children.
Prior to Christine Marie speaking to us, members of the community had reached out to the police department on a number of occasions about Sam Baitman. We had heard that he was trying to gather members of the FLDS community to his new offshoot, that he was gathering multiple wives, and that some of those wives may be underage. It was obviously cause for concern, but I told Christine Marie at the time that unless we could establish that some criminal act occurred, we did not have a crime to investigate.
Sergeant Wilkinson, I will not tell you my nickname for him because it is very mean, but I'll give you a hint. When he was testifying, he had his little thing like up to here, and his head looked like it was just going to off. It was a whole thing. Plus, what he said, that clip we started with, he said that with his whole heart. Seriously, that you can go around saying you're married to children as long as you don't consummate it. So here's the thing. Why wouldn't you say like they were your friend? Even that's weird. That's weird as hell. But saying that someone is your wife has a clear implication, and they had to wait for a victim. So if the child was not able to come out or unwilling or whatever you want to say, then they can just keep doing it, Sergeant Wilkins? Oh. Yeah, he'll go on to say in the next episode that he didn't really listen to a lot of the footage, especially the stuff that directly implicated Sam, because he has a tender heart. He's gentle. Well, maybe you picked the wrong job. Anyway, okay, let's talk more about Sam. And just kind of, I mean, like, it's giving, look what I can do.
It was uncanny. We would go on a hike up in the mountains. Sam would be there.
How's it going? That was amazing. I gotta shake your hand. That was like, how do you get up those rocks like that?
And then we got an idea.
Hello, Tolga.
Hey, brother. Sorry my voice is so bad, but I just got back into town, so I want to bring you a little surprise.
Olga encouraging him was cracking me up, because Olga's a really cool guy. Like, we've sat and had like some pretty intense conversations, really interesting stuff. But he, oh man, how'd you learn to do that? You're so good at that. And Sam is like, well, I don't know, I just learned, I don't know. By the way, I'm thinking this is gonna have to be 3 parts because I just need to do this justice. I need to do the material justice. So if we're doing this for the next 2 weeks, that's what we're doing, because that's what we're doing, okay? But Sam was not the only person who was engaging in these activities. He had 3 other accomplices. Now, a lot of you have heard me say that I went to this trial. Well, Sam took a plea deal and got 50 years. But Chuck and Ludd decided to go to trial, which, you know, the attorneys who represented them, shame. I know everybody deserves representation, right? Yeah, I'm sure that's exactly what you say when you put your head on your pillow at night so that you can sleep. 3
main families involved. He recruited Torrance Baitman. Torrance was a very motivated businessman. Sam also recruited Liddell Baitman Jr. and Moroni Johnson.
I was so lacking in that gift of revelation. I could not do it without Samuel's help.
These men would go on to give Samuel Baitman everything they had, and I mean everything: money, their kids, their wives, no matter the age of the kids, as well as their own bodies, in exactly the way that you're probably thinking of, which was a unique aspect of this case. We're going to get into all that in part 3, which will finish up the first episode, and then whenever I get this up, probably about 24 hours later, we're going to start the second. I don't want to say I hope you're having a good day. I just hope that you find this interesting and you're glad to hear these people's stories, because they've been waiting a long time to tell them. I'll see you soon.